What do you want us to talk about today, Spirit? What message do you want to bring through? A throat clearing. A throat clearing. Okay. So this is the message we're going to talk about today. I've been connecting to this message for a while now. Actually, I've been drawn to a lot of readings that were depicting people coughing and then mentioning, something about throat clearing. So over the past couple of months, that has been a theme. And then I got really sick. I got really, really sick after seeing synchronicities about the umbrella and being under the weather, which is not always indicating that I'm going to literally get ill, but in this case, it did. And so that's why I've been taking a break from doing readings and anything that required me to do work in this way. It just wasn't possible. Today is Christmas Eve at the time that I'm filming this, and it feels auspicious in a way. Something of a renewal. And it's shortly after the solstice, so it feels like it has connection to solar energy and the sun. And this feels like it's feeding into the throat chakra in some way, or it's helping to clear out what was causing some kind of a split, or I'm hearing the word duplicitous. That's why I'm saying that. It's like, well, and you know what? The throat chakra has to do with truth, divine truth. It's speaking our truth, living our truth, being in our authenticity. And so there may have been some kind of like a shadow side of the collective or your personal throat chakra that was needing time to review and to be revealed to you. Now I'm seeing a looking glass or a mirror. And again, it's like a split. There's two parts of the self. There's the one that's in the mirror and there's the one that's standing there. One of them is real. One of them is only a reflection. They are not real. They don't exist in time. I'm hearing in time. So there's something about being able to clear out this split in the throat around the embodiment or the speaking of our truth, especially for messengers. I just heard, and I'm seeing the god Hermes in my mind's eye with the winged hat and winged shoes, the Greek version. So there's something about the messenger or the mythology of the messenger. Okay, something about character development is what I'm being shown as well. Character development, like in a story, and a personal narrative and the split therein. And again, I'm hearing the word duplicitous. So there was something that was two-sided. Gemini or the twins energy could also be important because Gemini rules or has to do with communication. It's ruled by Mercury, which is Hermes. Mercury would be the Roman equivalent of Hermes. So there's, I'm hearing a message of compartmentalization. Okay, thank you, Spirit. A message of compartmentalization where these two things became separate, where these two things became split. How do we recombine them again? How do we reassociate with them? How do we understand these two sides of the self, the part that wants to hide behind, and I'm hearing behind the scenes, and the part that wants to speak its part or to contribute. I'm hearing their piece. Whose piece? Your piece? Their piece. Whatever that means. Now I'm being shown the umbrella again. And there were so many ways that I could interpret it before I got really sick. And I didn't actually lose my voice, but I was coughing a lot. And it got to a point where I didn't want to speak because anytime that I would speak or even just breathe a little bit more deeply, because you have to breathe more deeply as you speak, I would start to cough. And it was just like this incessant tickle in my throat that I'm hearing the word precaution. And something about a warning is coming through. It's like it was a warning of rest or needing to digest the energy to heal the split so that these two sides of the self or two halves of the whole could come back together. Okay. Now, I'm hearing Hermes Trismegistus, which means thrice great. Hermes, the thrice great. 3 incarnations of Hermes. Something about telltale signs or a tale. I'm being shown a book, a tale, a narrative, a story. The storyteller. And I'm being shown the shadow and the shadow side of the storyteller, or the shadow side of that narrative. I'm hearing too close for comfort. So it's almost like the shadow in some way collectively got too close for comfort. And even though this is part of the narrative arc of the hero's journey, of that character development, it feels like a coming of age story, the way that I'm sensing it or connecting to it. The energy of it feels deeply held, deeply subjective, very personal. And I'm hearing the word intuitive. I'm being shown a crystal ball. Divination, connection to messages through divination, both as the messenger and the receiver of that message. It's for both of us. And there's 2 sides of the coin that I'm being shown. Now I'm being shown coins on somebody's eyes who's passed away, which was a Greek tradition. That was the payment to cross the river Styx to get to the underworld. To pass through the underworld, I'm hearing. To pass through the underworld. So there's a shadow side of this narrative that needs to be explored. Something about Greek mythology is specifically coming up here. So there could be a part of your story or of this narrative that's connected to some Greek hero or heroine. Some Greek god or I'm hearing Theseus and Odysseus. I don't know those ones specifically, so I don't know what their traits are, what their narrative arc is. I don't know anything about them, or if those are even real Greek mythos people, characters. But there's something about Theseus and Odysseus. I'm going to have to look this up after. And I'm always curious to see what comes up when Spirit brings through specific messages, names, things like that. Okay. Now I'm being brought back to the throat chakra again. And there's like sparks of blue light that I'm seeing. Blue lightning as well, which I think I meant to say, I think I mentioned in an earlier reading or in an earlier message. So there is something here about the color blue, which is connected to the throat chakra. I'm also seeing my kyanite. I won't pick it up, but it's drawing my attention, and my eye line's being drawn to my kyanite crystal, which is deep psychic protection and cleansing. Blue ray starseeds could be part of this collective or group that's transitioning right now. That's just coming through as well as I'm channeling. Something about missing pieces. Where is that coming from? I'm being shown puzzle pieces, and there were some missing pieces, and I'm hearing part and parcel. I don't even know if that's the correct phrase. And something about turning a phrase, being able to use words or something that was separated, split, or compartmentalized, being brought back into its wholeness, its state of unification. Unica, I'm hearing Unica. Where or what is Unica? And I'm hearing Constantinople. So random. Okay, but I'm being shown something brought back together, something about history and through the ages. And it's connected to this collective, but also your personal story, your personal history at the soul level, soul stream level consciousness, which is not just this incarnation. It's like your avatar consciousness. It's your understanding of yourself through time, across the boundaries of space-time. So this is like long distance communication with these past versions of self, or with these archetypal aspects of self, collective themes, and even gods and goddesses. Okay, so we're really kind of like wrapping everything together. I'm being shown, and tying up loose ends. And I have had synchronicities that I've been shown connected to tying up loose ends. And one of the questions was, why do you have so many? Why are there so many loose ends? And how have you needed to complete those things, to reset, to clear the slate? What does that look like for you? And I'm being shown a narrative shift. It's connected. Okay, thank you. I was just told that it's connected to the Akashic records, because I was shown a stack of books and then I was like, is that Akashic? And then I heard Akashic. So yes, Akashic records. And it's like the history of your soul through time hidden in the Akash. And there was something about these missing pieces or missing players, something about lost players on the stage. I'm being shown like Shakespearean actors. I'm hearing Tybalt. Again, I know that that's connected to Shakespeare. I'm pretty sure anyway, but I would have to look up who that character is, what they represented, and in what play that was from, because I don't know. Okay, so something about these players on the stage and missing players. Is it a missing player or missing players? Are there multiple actors missing here, or what are we talking about, Spirit? Multiple people missing, and they missed their mark or they missed their cues. So in acting, it's like you have a cue, you're supposed to say your line. Okay, again, this is about communication and voicing. You have to project your voice out so that the audience can hear you, so that the other actors can hear you and hit their marks and hit their cues. And all the world is a stage. That's what's coming through. That's the quote. That is Shakespeare. All the world's a stage. Maybe not the direct quote, but there's players, there's actors, and I'm hearing through the lifetime, and I'm getting full body chills right now. Not the kind that I had when I was quite ill, but the kind that are tingly and an affirmation or confirmation of the frequency of truth, or something that was deeply held within. And there's like a body rhythm that's coming back into tune, I'm being shown. So this could be an attunement, a global or collective attunement of the heart frequency, I'm being shown, and how that connects to the throat or its principles of expression. So love being the driving force here. Something about attachment I just heard, and I'm being shown two separate ends that were attached that weren't supposed to be attached. I'm seeing those ends fraying and fraying and fraying, and it's because they were mismatched. And it's like I'm hearing the word tethered ends that were connected that were not supposed to be connected. And so they began to fray because they were misaligned. They were mismatched. Tethers of time, I'm hearing. And it's reminding me of the ends of DNA strands or telomeres. Something about a mismatch. Again, something about a split. Okay, so the throat is healing. Thank you. Thank God for that. Thank God for that. I'm hearing Persephone, goddess of the underworld. And her sweet berry and her sweet juice is what they just said as well. So there's something about the pomegranate, perhaps, that is significant to this. I'm being shown something leaking or liquid, and it's down the throat. Perhaps it's about consumption of some kind of liquid or juice, fruit. But it feels symbolic to me. It doesn't feel quite as literal as some of the other stuff. Well, not all of this has been anything literal, but it just feels like a completion. And I know that we get a lot of messages about completion and cycles and things like that because there's so many of them going on all the time. There's cycles within cycles and layers and layers and layers and layers. But there's a completion happening here of some processing that was taking place undercover, behind closed doors, and within the darkness of the self. So the shadow self was doing some processing. You may have noted this. You may have noticed this. You may not have. You may not have known what was occurring here. You may have simply had been sidetracked in some way, because I'm being shown you noticing something that is out of the norm. The name norm, or something about paranormal, is also coming up, or noticing something that is abnormal in some way. And you noticing that may have been the slight hint. I'm being shown sludge, and I'm hearing the word sludge. Is this part of the clearing? Yes. And I'm hearing the lights come on, and they're showing me flipping the switch. The lights come on. So you noticing something that's different, abnormal, possibly paranormal, that did feel, wait, hold on, there's so much coming, something about a result and salt, and I'm hearing frequency shift. And I'm being shown the nose and connected to something else. What is that? Pinocchio? No. Something about your nose, and it's connected to something else. I don't know what that means. My nose got really stuffed up when I was sick. I'm just trying to understand what this is talking about. The clearing out, though, is connected to the clearing out sludge, clearing out dross, clearing out drama or karma, perhaps, as well. I'm not sure in what way, but I'm being shown a new way and a direction. It's like you're able to reassert your boundaries. Okay, that's coming through. Reassert your boundaries. How? In whatever way you need to. That was the answer to how. In whatever way you need to. You're able to reassert your boundaries. Telepathically, that's one of them. I'm seeing that being highlighted. So something about telepathic, psychic boundaries. And I'm being shown that there was kind of like noise. There was interference in some way. And it was coming from the self, interestingly, like you'd think it would come from outside, but I'm being shown the interference was actually coming from within the self. And I'm hearing behind closed doors, and I'm being shown like shut doors and darkness inside. And there was something of the shadow self, because that's what this is reminding me of. And we were talking about that as well. It's underworld stuff. So there was some aspect of the shadow that was, I'm hearing the word diagnosis. I'm being shown the Asclepius and something about the Hermetic code. Hermetically sealed, those doors were shut. Something was closed off. Something was hidden behind closed doors. It was not meant to be seen until it was necessary to see it. Whew. And I'm hearing diagnosis, and it's reminding me, like diagnosis, obviously we know what that means, but diagnosis, and it sounds like agnostic, but it also kind of is reminding me of a play on words. Again, here's that play. All the world is a stage, and all the world is a play. All people are actors upon it, including you and me. We're all playing a part. But there's something about diagnosis reminding me of a Greek name or Greek mythology. I would have to look up the etymology. There could be some Greek etymology of the word or basis to the word diagnosis. So I'll look that up as well, and I'll put it here if it's something relevant. I'm being shown sewage systems and drainage. So something could be healing or flushing out of the root chakra as well, or through the system itself. There's something about an Edenic coating, or an edema. I'm not sure what that means. And Emma, I'm being shown blood. And I know that the Greek word for blood is Emma. And I'm hearing catharsis, blood dross. Okay, so there was something in the actual blood. Physically. Physically. Okay, thank you. I heard fear symptoms in the blood. What does that look like? What does that actually manifest as? Disease. That was the answer. Disease. Oh, what does that disease do for us? I heard complicates things, but I'm also shown something about time and trivial. And I'm being shown something about an access point, access of knowledge. Okay, thank you. Access of knowledge and accessibility. Oh, and I heard disease proves fruitful. Okay. Now this doesn't have to be literal. Obviously I got sick. Pretty sure it was the dreaded CV. Because I'd never had it before, and this was like the most intense. This was the most intense flu or whatever it was that I had, that I've probably ever had in my life, other than strep throat when I was a kid. Oh yeah, throat chakra. Throat chakra. And I'm hearing blasphemy, and I'm being shown a pope in a church. Speaking against the word of God is what they're yelling. I can see them yelling it. Past life. Okay, past life. Something about fear of digression, fear of blasphemy, fear of splitting, fear of judgment, fear of rejection, fear of condemnation. And I'm hearing the word resentment repeated. Resentment, resentment, resentment. The body holds on. The body hears the fear. The body feels the fear. The body knows the way. The nose knows. Okay? So there's something here about reconnecting to the physical system in its wholeness, in its whole state. And I'm starting to sweat right now. So there could be a purging, something about the balancing of the humors. This feels medieval almost, like, oh, there's these different humors in the body that need to be balanced. And if they're out of whack, then you get sick and you get disease, or you get some kind of a complication that arises physically. So it feels like we're almost healing. Okay, hold on. Then I just got shown cave art, and I'm hearing cavemen. So it goes all the way back. Something about tracing the bloodline back to the beginning, back to the beginning, back to the beginning. That's what I'm hearing. And the ways of time, I'm being shown the ways of time. And I'm being shown like plot points on a semi-linear map of time that stretches out from, I'm hearing into Archaea, something about Archaea or Arcana, Major Arcana, Tarot, perhaps. But anyway, there was something about going back in time and these cycles of time that are all connected, or that loop, but there's these like threads of time, and it looks like these strings that I'm being shown with again these like sort of ends that don't complete, like they need something to connect back to. And I'm hearing singing your song, and I'm being shown a nightingale, something about a lark. Hark, hark the lark, hear their call. I'm just repeating what I'm being told here. Something about the town crier and the town friar, two different things. One's like a monk. One is there to deliver messages. So maybe there's a combination of those two. Something about publicity is coming up as well, and public, making something public, and those traveling bards. This is really cool. I feel like I've traveled back in time as I'm giving this message, as I'm connecting to this energy. It feels like I'm back in time. Gonna go back in time. Singing, right. Okay, so singing, speaking, messaging, relaying a message. Ooh, I heard worthy ones, the worthy ones. Worthy ones of what? I'm being shown like unwrapping a candy, like how they're twisted on both sides and there's a candy inside. Unwrapping the candy. Worthy ones. Oh, it's reminding me of Werther's candy. You know, that like hard butterscotch candy that old people always seem to have. Like hard caramel. Okay, something about a sweet tooth and ancient ways. And it's in the blood again, something in the blood. And I'm hearing be bold. Be bold. I'm seeing the Knight of Wands now, riding across, flashing across my mind. Be bold. And I'm hearing saving grace, and I'm being shown somebody throwing or hucking. I'm hearing the word hucking. Huckleberry Finn. Throwing. I can't even complete that sentence. Okay. Tossing. Pursuing. Don't pass the buck, pursue it. And I'm being shown, and then as soon as I said that, I saw a silver steed, a silver buck, like a male deer or reindeer. Something about shirking responsibility and no more, and something about that closed door. So maybe there was something that we needed to look at collectively, or you needed to look at individually, that was behind that door, that required you to access it in some way, known or unknown. I'm hearing consciously, unconsciously, known or unknown, to be able to access it, to be able to see what was going on behind those doors, what was going on behind closed doors. What did you need to see about that? And I'm hearing self-aggrandizement, granny dies, something. Okay, it's like the ancestors or the bloodline, the lineage. This part of the self, though, it's part of the self. A wizened part of the self, perhaps a wise part of the self, was killed off or was put in the shadow, unbeknownst to you or unwillingly. And I'm hearing went kicking and screaming, and I'm being shown a grandmother kicking like a baby and being like, don't put me in there. Okay. And there's something about regalia. I'm being shown a king, and there's like horses walking by me, and they're all decked out in fancy gear, like big gold chains and big gold like adornments and things with jewels and rubies and sapphires, emeralds. And the king is walking past in a procession with all of the king's men. All the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put Humpty together again. These split parts. Something about the mother, the grandmother, the grand wizard, grandmother. And I heard the one who told the tale. The one who told the tale. And then I just saw the book slam shut. And it's like, we're done. Okay. I have no idea what to make of this message. I will have to do some research. I will have to rewatch this a couple of times. I will need to kind of sit with this and see what parcels out of it. Something about this, it's like a big package being delivered, and we do need to kind of slowly unwrap it because it was all tied up in string, and then start to look inside what was behind those closed doors of the mind. That's what's most important. So digest that, discover that, digest that, and there's the clearing has already taken place. I'm being shown the clearing is done. It's done. Don't worry about it. I'm being shown Cinderella's blue ball gown. Something about magic manifestation, like the twirl that she does when she transforms, and she's, fairy godmother. I'm hearing great and gran. Great grandmother, great grandmother. And then they showed the book slammed shut again. So I'm not supposed to look into that because every time that message comes through, it feels like, nope, there's something final to be divulged, but it's not in this reading. It's not in this message. It's not here. These are clues. These are confirmations in some ways, but they're not meant to tell you everything because there's something I'm hearing the word idiosyncratic, and I'm being shown Socrates, the Socratic method. Is it not the Socratic method to ask the right question, to get the right answer, to philosophize on this, whatever it is? I'm being shown Philosopher's Stone, alchemy, the great work. I'm going to leave this message here. You interpret it how you'd like. The archetypes will guide you. I heard the archetypes will guide you. One final. Thank you. Okay, we're doing that then. Oh, and look, I grabbed half the deck, not the other half. And they said this one only. So again, there's something of a split, but the archetype is on this side, the one that's most important. I'm getting those chills through my whole body again. And I'm hearing, thank God, thank God, thank God. Okay, I pulled one out. I'm going to get the book ready because I feel like we're going to need it. The pilgrim. I'm hearing walk this way, like the song, walk this way. Okay, XX. Let me find it. The pilgrim. Okay, the wanderer, the traveler, the apprentice. For the pilgrim, an outward journey is always an inward journey. This archetypal wanderer seeks wisdom, experience, and meaning in the farthest reaches of the globe and the deepest regions of the spirit. Others will wonder when the pilgrim will settle down and claim a more conventional life, but the pilgrim knows that the heart belongs in motion. Where there's motion, there is freedom, expansion, and growth. Responsibilities, social conventions, and logistics lull us to sleep, and soon the pilgrim becomes veiled in the slumber of the day-to-day. Yet when this archetype awakens, it rallies our sense of adventure and leads us out the door, there's that door, out the door toward a new reality. What was sealed will be revealed. I'm hearing that as well. The door was sealed, it will be revealed. With the pilgrim at your side, you will never lack courage, nor do you need ever, what does it say? Nor do you need every amenity. Travel light, travel soon. Your spirit needs it. It's reminding me of the Fool in the tarot. What else does it say? We all have a deep longing to answer the call, to get unstuck. What are the obstacles between you and the door? What's between you and the door? Even in the stillness of meditation, the pilgrim feels the movement of the heart toward what it loves. And the guidance of the heart seems to be complicated here or complex, but the simple message is to bring it back to love. Where has fear overshadowed love? Where has fear crept into love or been allowed to live in the place of love as attachment? That's another hint. So when in the light, the pilgrim learns, grows, adapts, and studies. When in the dark, it becomes aloof, non-committal, and flaky. To go deeper, recommendations here are The Road Not Taken, a poem by Robert Frost, and Mamine by David White. Okay? Anything else? That's it. That was the message. So I will leave it there, guys. Thank you so much for your patience with me as I have needed time to heal and to integrate and to go back through this whole process of coming out of some doom and gloom and some physical suffering and things like that. That's just part of human life and part of this clearing as it's been connected here in this reading. Thank you to those, something about guides. Okay. Thank you to the guides who have helped us to process this and to continue processing this in a way that is effective for the whole, for the group, for the collective, for all of us. And the Blu-ray starseeds is coming up again. So something about guides for Blu-rays or Blu-ray guides. Okay. And I wanted to mention, nope, I was going to say something completely different. And then I got interrupted and I heard National Geographic. So that's what Spirit wanted to mention, not what I wanted to mention. But we'll just close it down here. I'm going to give my throat another break. Thank you guys for being here. I'll jump back on when I can. I am also working on personal readings and I'm behind on just about everything right now. So again, thanks for your patience, for your understanding, and for your wisdom. That's what's coming through. I want to say from Spirit, thank you for your wisdom and your wise support, whatever that means. Not what I was going to say, but that's what they wanted to say, I guess, through me to you. Okay. I love you guys. We'll see you in the next reading, whenever that is.